This is the Angels Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Los Angeles Angels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
500 record. We meet again, and we are so glad we do after today's win. Hello, Halo Nation. Hello, Halo hopefuls, and welcome back to the latest edition of the Locked On Angels Postcast, coming at you live, as always, after every single Angels game, and especially after a nice win today. Here live, as always, on the Locked On Angels YouTube channel, and after the fact, both on the channel and wherever the heck you get the Locked On Angels audio podcast feed. If you don't know who I am, what's going on, everybody? Seeing a lot of the familiar faces in here and some new ones as well. My name is Gavin Carlson, former credentialed journalist in the LA area. Spent 4 years covering UCLA sports, and now in year 2 with the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. Our team is the Angels, and man, oh man, this Angels team loves to win these tight ball games. Another close game, more late inning magic, as neither team does anything offensively for the first 7 innings before a 4-run eighth for the Angels breaks this one open. All 4 runs in the ball game coming in the 8th, and it's a 4-0 Angels win. A great response to Sunday's frustrating, abysmal loss. You get the day off yesterday, and we were going to learn a lot about this team today. And oh my, I think we did. So shout out to everybody in here, seeing a lot of the familiar faces. As always, appreciate you guys so much. Leave those comments. I will be reacting to them throughout the show. Leave that like, leave those comments. And without further ado, we're going to get into that 8th inning. Of course we will. But I'm changing things up today.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Like I said, you know there will be a turning point in this game discussing that 4-run 8th inning, but I just want to talk a little bit first and foremost about why this game felt different, right? Because I have said it so many times, and I say it right here as well, the goal, and I'm going to keep being a broken record, is to turn every game into a coin flip in the 8th or 9th inning, because we are really freaking good in coin flip games. I really like our chances in them, and tonight is another example of that. But I don't know about you. Things felt different today for a few reasons. First and foremost, you're coming off the day off yesterday. You're coming off the horrible performance on Sunday. And it just felt like everything the Angels did tonight was, let's win this game. It felt like a win now type of game. Not just from players, not just certain performances, but the managerial decisions, right? The fact that we see Tyler Anderson have a great start. But then, even though it's 4-0 going into the bottom of the 8th inning, we still see Reid Detmers, right? It wasn't even a high leverage, pitching opportunity situation. And yet we see Reid Detmers. It's 4-0 going into the 9th. And we see our closer, Kenley Jansen, right? So, yes, is it true that having a day off yesterday means that your bullpen arms are fresh? Yes, of course. Right? And are they especially fresh because Tyler Anderson did go 6 innings. You only had to use Fermin in the 7th. And so you're up 4-0 going into the 8th. You've got your whole bullpen basically available to you. Sure, you might as well go Detmers and Jansen. But come on, let's not act like in other games and other situations on Sundays, on day games, or on the third games of series, right? Like we saw on Sunday. There's games and situations where this team would have not opted to bring in Detmers, would have gotten cute and brought in a Brogdon or a Brock Burke and given up 2 runs and made this an interesting game when he didn't need to be. But for whatever reason tonight, we looked like we really cared about this ball game in terms of the decisions that were made. You go Detmers in the 8th, you go Kenley Jansen in a non-save opportunity after he just blew a save. It's not like he hadn't pitched recently, right? Because he just pitched on Sunday. So it wasn't that. It was a get right 9th inning opportunity for Kenley Jansen, but also a we want to win this game bad opportunity, right? So really, really enjoyed seeing a game like this where the whole lineup is in, right? We don't have to look at a Darno Ohapi combination with Newman playing, right? This is the full lineup. Neto's back, Shondel's in there, Trout's in there, Ward's in there, Adell's in there. We get Jorge Soler back. Then it's O'Hoppe, then Rengifo, then Christian Moore. That might be the best lineup we've seen all year. And yes, I feel a lot more comfortable saying that because Jorge Soler actually did something in the lineup. But just looking at the names, I think that's the best lineup we've seen all year. Right? The order and the names. So you get that. You get a Gary Tyler Anderson start. And even though the offense is lifeless through the first 7 innings, something about this team, man, they come through in the 8th. So I just have to start by saying there were a lot of negative people in here on Sunday. And I was trying to keep my cool. I was very negative on Sunday also. There are some people that were crazy negative on Friday after the series opening loss, and I disagreed with that, right? Sunday made sense. And so, yes, Jose, you're right. This team likes to drive us crazy. It's a great way to put it, right? But right when you are getting nervous, you have a bad series against the Nats, you go into a tough road trip against the Braves, to see the team turn it on. And again, I'm not someone who likes to just use these big, broad words like they turned it on and they looked more focused and stuff. I like to say that, hey, every team's trying every night. But again, there's certain nights where you just see it. And tonight we saw it. We saw it, and that's why you see me here saying, why does a game like this make me excited? Well, because the goal of the season is to make this season matter as long as possible, if not up until the final day. You would love to be in a wild card race, right? My goal has not been to be in the playoffs, although I would love it. It's to make the season matter for as long as possible by being as close to 500 for as long as possible, right? But why a game like today makes me excited is if we are playing meaningful games in late July, in August, late August, guess what? This team has proven when we put forth our best lineup, when we put forth our best bullpen arms, when we have a focus, no matter the team we're playing against, we can win nail-biter, tight, nervy games like this one. We have such a great record in one-run games. This won't count as a one-run game, but we all know that this was essentially another coin flip game. 0-0 going into the 8th. So love to see it. Yes, we'll talk Dave and Dusty. We'll talk about Rengifo starting to warm up, how huge that is. I see a lot of people in here rightfully concerned about O'Hoppe. He's right back to having an O'Hoppe performance here. We'll get to that. But first and foremost, just had to lay that line right there immediately that this game was important, right? And now, with everyone, I love that comment. Don't have any fingernails left with all these nail biters. I love that. You're really right. You're really right. But with all that being said, let's finally get to that turning point.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
Enough referencing the top of the 8th, the 4 runs. Let's get right to it, right? Because the Angels didn't have many opportunities in this game to score. They had the bases loaded in the top of the 4th. O'Hoppe comes up and has an abysmal at-bat. He swings at 2 pitches well below the zone, a 3-pitch strikeout to end the inning. That was frustrating, right? But other than that, really no opportunities for the Angels until the top of the 8th. And hey, a lot of people have been saying that Mike Trout ain't clutch. And I get it. In certain situations, he is not. He is not number 1, number 2, maybe 3 or 4 on this team in terms of guys you want to come up with the runner on second base and 2 outs. I'm sorry, he's not. But I'll tell you what he has been. He's been a professional hitter. A professional hitter since he's come back from the injured list. And why do I say that? The guy had 22 walks in the month of June. The on-base percentage, a lot higher than people want to give him credit for in the month of June. And tonight, he waits until, he does have a walk midway through this game, but he waits until the biggest moment to have his biggest swing. And not only his biggest swing, but we see the healthiest, knock on wood, the healthiest we've seen Mike Trout look running the bases in a while. Because after a leadoff pop-out from Nolan Scheinwell, Mike Trout gets a hustle double. And yes, Sun King 25, and I don't recognize that username. So if you are new, welcome. Shout out to you. But he is so right. Trout hustling and getting that double for sure energized the rest of the lineup. That's what he says. And Sun King, you are right. Because Mike Trout, he only had 2 doubles coming into this at-bat. And he takes what probably, for a guy like Jo Adell or Neto, yeah, off the bat, you're thinking, ooh, this could be 2. I'll be honest, when Trout hit it, I don't know if I was thinking this could be 2, especially with 1 out. But for Mike Trout to turn that into a double, get everyone fired up. Taylor Ward looks like a professional hitter, has a great at-bat. 2-0 becomes 2-2, but then it becomes a full count and then a 7 or a 6-pitch walk where he takes not the easiest take, a 3-2 slider down and away. That's the exact pitch that Logan O'Hoppe struck out on, right? So Taylor Ward walks that, and then man, oh man, if it wasn't for some stellar pitching performances, this swing alone would make him the player of the game. The biggest swing of the game, once again, comes from Jo Adell. Oh, it just feels so great to say it, man. Jo Adell is unbelievable, and he had an unreal month of June. 11 home runs, one of the best, months, probably the best month of his career. But guess what? It's July 1st. Turn the page, same Jo Adell. Whew, thank goodness. Let's hope it lasts through, up until the All-Star break and when he comes back from the All-Star break, right? He takes a 1-1 changeup down and in, and he absolutely scorches it. 112.9 off the bat, down the left field line. The only question when it came off the bat was not if it was going to get down, was if it was going to stay fair. But he hit it so hard that it didn't even have enough time to slice foul. It lands fair in the left field corner, and Mike Trout scores easily from second. Ward gets to third. Jo Adell gets to second. It's 1-0 Angels, and you're thinking, oh, baby, it's 1-0 with 1 out. And all I'm asking for, I see Jo Adell coming up. I see De Los Santos coming out of the bullpen. I'm thinking, they are praying for one of those classic Jorge Soler strikeouts. All I'm praying for is a sac fly from Jo Adell. You know how much it frustrates me when we cannot execute with the runner on third and 1 out. And Jorge Soler says, Gavin, I'll do you one better. He takes a 2-2 fastball just on the outside corner, and he scorched it as well. That's Jorge Soler. He likes to, extend the zone. Don't really see him go opposite field much, and this looked great. He takes the fastball on the outside corner, rips it to right center. It's his 11th double of the season. The guy's average is in the gutters. He's missed a bunch of games, and yet the guy has 11 doubles. He doesn't know what a base hit is, right? And so he hits a 2 RBI double here, scores Taylor Ward, scores Jo Adell, makes that double from Mike Trout mean a lot, makes that double from Jo Adell mean even more. When both runs score, it's 3-0 Angels, still 1 out. Soler on second. O'Hoppe lines out. There's a throwing error that gets allows a runner to advance to third. And then the craziest part is, and this is when I knew, man, this Angels team, when they're on in an inning, they are on. I still don't know how this gets down. Luis Rengifo takes the first pitch fastball up and in, runner on third, and he hits it 70 miles an hour. He just hits the weakest blooper on the first pitch of the at-bat, and he comes through, makes it 4-0, and at that point, 1-0 with second and third and 1 out, you're like, okay, we're liking our chances. 3-0, you're like, hey, you got to win this game 90% of the time, right? 4-0, and you're thinking, oh man, let's go, right? So a huge inning. Christian Moore even takes a walk. There's a pass ball that makes it second and third. There was even an opportunity to beef it up even more. Zach Neto does ground out, but the moral of the story is you get 4 runs when you needed them most, and it comes from 2 guys that you don't always expect. One guy in Mike Trout that you don't always expect it to come from, especially a hustle double to start the rally. You get a clutch hit from Jo Adell, but we've been seeing that. But a clutch hit from Jorge Soler in big 2025? A hustle double from Mike Trout in big 2025? Luis Rengifo coming through in big 2025? Oh, man, it's hard not to be fired up. So, huge 4-run 8th. The Angels pick up the win. We're going to take our break, and when we come back, we're finally going to get to the player of the game. We didn't even get to the player of the game. A lot to talk about today. But, man, you know who I'm going to talk about after the break. We'll be right back here on the Locked On Angels Postcast. Now, on this Tuesday, today's show is brought to you by Monarch Money. If you ever wish managing your money felt easier with Monarch Money, it can. Whether you're growing your savings or planning a big purchase, Monarch puts you in the driver's seat. It's like having your own personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money is more than a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, and spending in one place. So in addition to managing your money, you're also building wealth. Hey, I always say, I know I spend a lot of money on food, but man, when I got Monarch, I realized how much I was. I think a big thing that people always forget about is all their subscriptions. And hey, I'm not blaming you for having them. I have a bunch. YouTube, ChatGPT, Spotify, right? I list up my gym membership, right? Everyone's got a bunch of subscriptions, but sometimes you have some that you forget about. So Monarch is going to point that out for you as well. And so much more. So take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONMLB for half off your first year. And today's show is also brought to you by FanDuel. Summer sports, they're in full swing. And whether you're all about baseball under the lights, I know all of you are, golf on the green, or high-stakes soccer action, which I am as well, even though the Chelsea jerseys aren't behind me today, FanDuel is the best way to make every game even more exciting this summer. You're already following the action, so why not make it a little more thrilling? With FanDuel, you can get in on the game while your friends are getting sunburned at the beach. I always, whenever I'm out of state, can't do it in California, but when I'm out of state and able, I always use FanDuel to track my favorite matchups, and the app keeps it fresh with daily promotions and fun ways to bet. It's easy to use, fast to pay out, and makes even regular season games feel like must-watch events. So if you're new to FanDuel, new customers can bet just $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com to get started. Back here live on this victory edition of the Locked On Angels Postcast. Angels and Braves, neither offense showed up for the first 7 innings. 0 runs. I think it was like 7 combined hits through the first 7 innings. But then the Angels explode. A 4-run top of the 8th started with a hustle double from Mike Trout. Then you get a walk from Taylor Ward, an RBI double from Jo Adell, a 2 RBI double from Jorge Soler of all people, and then Luis Rengifo with a bloop single. That made it 4-0. Like I said, we saw Reid Detmers come in the bottom of the 8th despite the 4-0 lead. We saw Kenley Jansen come in the 9th despite the 4-0 lead and the non-save opportunity. So obviously the Angels were very serious about winning this game. That's exactly the urgency I want to see. Let's keep it going tomorrow. But before we do, have to point out the player of the ball game, because you see the Angels not score through 7 innings. And many a times you would think the game is over, but not tonight. And that is thanks to one guy, our player of the game.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
And it is Tyler Anderson. I know we got big swings, like I said, from Adell and Soler, but Tyler Anderson kept us in this game when a lot of pitchers would not have. He goes 6 innings of shutout ball against a talented Braves lineup, just 4 hits, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts, really not many threats from the Braves in this one, except for one. And I don't want you guys to forget what happened in the bottom of the 5th inning, because a leadoff triple from Michael Harris II didn't get much help from Jorge Soler in the field there, and we know that's not his strength. But a leadoff triple from Michael Harris. Let me repeat this, because Angels fans, we are familiar with struggling to score with a runner on third and 1 out. But I think even Angels fans expect our team to score runner on third, nobody out. But what does Tyler Anderson do? He gets Nick Allen to an 0-2 count on 2 changeups down in the zone, and then he gets a pop-up on a fastball up and in, 1 down. But guess what? Ronald Acuna Jr. comes up next. Lefty on righty, runner on third. Surely you're going to intentionally walk Ronald Acuna, right? Nope. How about challenge fastball, swing and a miss, changeup down and in, fouled off, changeup up and away, swing and a miss, strike 3. That was unbelievable. Then he does intentionally walk Matt Olson, which is interesting, lefty on lefty. Goes after the righty, Marcelo Zuna. Gets him in a 1-1 count, changeup, caught a lot of the plate, able to get a deep fly out, and the Angels and Tyler Anderson get out of the bottom of the 5th. That was a huge moment. In other games, that would have been the turning point, right? And like Dave says here, great point. He's down with or I don't know. Actually, I don't know what you're saying here. I was thinking the opposite. He's normally up with the walks. He goes down with the walks today, goes up with the Ks, which is what we like to see. Strikeouts were there, walks were not. This is what I was seeing from Dave. Yes, there's an argument that you could have left him in the seventh. Like Nathan says here, Montgomery has a faster hook than Ron. And Sun King saying it as well. What's very interesting, though, is that the bullpen has arguably been the most consistent we've seen. Outside of a couple blow-ups, I think you at least, when the bullpen is fresh, you have Detmers, you have Kenley Jansen, you know that you have a Brockberg for an inning, a Zephyr John for an inning, a Bachman for an inning, right? For him to be that quick, despite the bullpen being fresh, I think for him to be that quick shows how confident he is when the bullpen is fresh, right? Because earlier in the season, we were saying, man, oh man, let the starting pitcher pitch for as long as possible because we don't trust this darn bullpen. But guess what? Now we can take the starter out after 6 because we're confident we're getting a full inning of perfect ball from Detmers. You're confident that if you have a lead in the 9th, you can throw in Kenley. So then guess what? You only need someone to pitch the 7th. And Fermin got it done. So, love to see it. The bullpen again deserves credit. Fermin, scoreless 7th. Detmers, scoreless 8th. Kenley, scoreless 9th. But Tyler Anderson is the reason that we were in this game when we did nothing. We had like 3 hits for the first 2/3 of this ball game. And so for you to win like this, he deserves a lot of credit. It's one of those starts that you're going to forget, unfortunately, about this start because he doesn't get the win. He doesn't get the decision. And guys like Jo Adell and Jorge Soler steal the thunder, and rightfully so. But don't forget about these starts. When you look at Tyler Anderson on the season and you see, he's got a 4.12 ERA, didn't pick up a win, you're being all critical. Don't forget a start like this. It's a start like this that proves Tyler Anderson certainly has his value. I know a lot of people asking me about the series and if we think I can win it. I mean, certainly you have to like your chances when you win the first of a 3-game set because now you just got to split the next 2, obviously, to win the series. And guess what? Based on what I saw tonight, I do think we are going to win this series. I think we can split the next 2 games. Absolutely. Tomorrow will be an interesting one because we've got Kikuchi. Yes, he's 3-6, but we all know he's been phenomenal. 2.79 ERA. He's been better on the road than at home. So you're feeling really good about him. And then you got him going up against a really, really young pitcher in, I believe it's Didier Fuentes, 20 years old, 0-2, 10.8 ERA. The guy's only had 2 appearances. Neither of them went well at all. On the 20th of June against Miami, not a strong Marlins lineup, and yet he gives up 4 runs and 6 hits in 5 innings, just 3 strikeouts. That's an okay start, right? But then the blow up against the Mets, a good lineup, and he looked lost. Comes in just 3 1/3 innings, 8 hits, 6 earned runs, just 1 strikeout. So he clearly doesn't have strikeout stuff right now, which is good to see against a team like the Angels. And so come on. I don't know how you cannot back the Angels to win this game tomorrow. I'm calling it. I am going to call the win just based off the pitching performance, the pitching matchup, Don't expect to see Fuentes pitch into the 4th or 5th inning. If he does, that will be disappointing. But 4:15 first pitch. I know there was all the rain today, but let's expect 4:15 tomorrow. That means I'll be live, as always, after the game around 7 p.m., hopefully after that win that I'm calling. If you don't know, the 3rd, it will be Soriano against Elder. I think we have the pitching advantage there as well. So come on. I know Joel in here saying, don't jinx us again, bro. I know I've done it. And the dreaded curse, the 500 curse, will be on the line tomorrow. If I was smart, I would just bet against us. But no, I think we finally break the glass ceiling tomorrow and get over 500, 43-42. Gosh, it would look so nice. Let's get to it. So Nathan saying jinx, everyone's saying jinx, but no, I'm calling the win. I'm calling the win. So with all that being said, and I see other people in here calling the win as well. So shout out to everybody in here. Vinny's calling a home run. So, hey, whenever Vinny calls a Trout home run, it usually goes well as well. But as you can see, I'm back home in the Bay Area. So shout out to all of you. Great to be with you, whether I'm in LA, whether I'm home in the Bay. We'll be back here tomorrow. Have a great rest of your Tuesday night. Let's get fired up for that ceiling, that glass ceiling to be broken tomorrow. And then we look at a sweep opportunity on Thursday. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's win tomorrow. And I'll be right here live after the game. Appreciate it. As always, everybody. Yes, tomorrow is hump day, and we're going to get over the hump. Perfect. Larry said, are you done with the spray? I am. It's funny, and it's not funny at all, but it took a freaking car accident for me to finally have my throat feeling good, at least. So at least we're good there. But yes, shout out to everybody. Have a great rest of your Tuesday, and I'll see you back here tomorrow. We're going to break that glass ceiling tomorrow. Let's do it. Take care. And as always, go Angels. See you tomorrow.